Bookstonbury, the place where my friends have began a new chapter of my life. But today I'm here to tell you the story of my journey to happiness. So let's start at the beginning. The day I left, I felt empty. I had just finished uni and had no plans, no idea who I was or what I wanted from life. My long-term relationship has ended, leaving a deep hole in my heart. Yet I knew I had to leave the city. I sold all my belongings and used my savings to start a new business in a small seaside town. I arrived in the early hours of the morning and parked by a seafront, hoping the waves would calm my nerves. I opened up the shop and held my breath as I saw my first customer heading my way. Tilde, my, what a sight. You must be the new bookseller. Oh, hello. Yes, that's me. I've heard so much about you. I was confused. Where did you hear about me? I hoped for a fresh start. Why? How? Oh, don't worry. I have my sources. Anyway, I didn't know anybody in this region. Unless... No, I don't think so. Welcome to our quaint little town. I'm glad you've decided to stop by. I thought you might need someone to show you the ropes around here. That's really nice of you. But may I ask, who are you? I'm Tilde. I used to run the local bookstore here before my retirement. Lovely to meet you. Nice to meet you, Tilde. I'm Lunairy. Since you sold books here, would you say something about the townsfolk? Let's see. You should know that us Bookstonians have very particular tastes in books. I, for example, prefer to read classic and crime novels, and not much else. So why don't I have a look at your selection and see if I can find something worthwhile? I only had a couple of classical and crime books, but maybe she find a ring. Perfect, I had lost my copy of Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We studied that book in uni, and the professor let me keep this copy. I need your help, youngin. I'd love to read something classic. Also, I wouldn't mind getting into something more sophisticated. I'm interested to see what you suggest. I have only 3 classical books. I hope that among them is the one Jane Eyre. This intimately narrated story of the winding life of Jane Eyre touches on many social issues present in Victorian England. Her story is fraught with twists and hardships, but ultimately leads to love, a true classic at heart. Will my story lead to love again? This one should do. Perfect! I've been meaning to read Jane Eyre. My first book recommendation. Is this the feeling I was looking for when starting the shop? Glad you like it. It took some time until the next customer asked me for help, but my head was still busy with thoughts of Tilde and her mysterious source of knowledge. Garsic? I jumped up at the sound of a male voice, but quickly headed over to help him. Wow, that's a new personal best. Give me historical facts. The decoration of the house is one of my all-time favorites. I'd heard about the aura of this book. Edith Wharton became a writer at 40. She wrote novels but also wrote about design, travel, and culture. She was the first woman to win a Pulitzer Prize for fiction, and she did that at the age of 60. When I learned about her, I thought about how it's never too late. And that's why I started over again. I had a decent number of fact books to look through. Let's see. Le Corbusier, Mesopotamian Buildings, Feminist Queer Crip, Upgrading and Repairing PCs. I was going to give that one to Mike, but we broke up. He would have liked it. Now I need to find it at home, but not this one. I should look more. Alvar Aalto, Finnish Design Master. Isn't this book similar to the one this guy loves? Or about this one? It has photographs, plans, and sketches. Really? I feel like it's missing the historical angle. I was shocked by his reaction as I felt the book did in fact have a historical aspect to it. They always say the customer is right, but is he? I watched as he left the store and wondered what else the day would bring. I didn't need to wait long to find out. Fern. Hi there. You're the bookseller, right? Hi, yes, how can I help you? I see you already talked to Tilde. Does she know everything about you already? Or did he know? Is he some creepy stalker? Is it even safe in this town? Strangely, yes. Does she always say things people don't expect? Ah, yes, she does that. Told me all about the review before I even started my job there. So maybe not a creepy guy after all? He could have just talked to Tilde. What is that review you're talking about? And are you a journalist, Fern? I'm talking about the Bookstonbury review. It's a local paper. Yeah, I sort of write for them. Okay, Mr. Journalist. Can I know your name? I'm Lunairy, by the way. But you probably know that from Tilde. My name is Fern Estrada. Glad to meet you. Your arrival is kind of the only interesting thing that's happened around here in a while. So you have to excuse my nosiness. But it's sort of my job to write about you now. Coming here, I had hoped for a quiet life, staying out of the public eye. It's not that I have anything to hide, but is there anything interesting about me? I looked at him, not quite sure what to say, and an awkward silence slipped in. How about you help me out by answering a few of my questions, and I'll give you a free subscription in turn. You might appreciate the events calendar, and people often sell used books in the classifieds. I could use some books, my supply was running low, so I should check that out. You want to ask me a question? Right, so, for the record, what made you come to Bookstonbury? I ask myself this question on the way here. Why did I come here out of every other town? Maybe the lighthouse brought me here? But I'll stay for a while and see, searching for where I belong. Oh wow, I kinda feel the same way. I hope it works out for you. Okay, and what's your first impression of town so far? Friendly, I think? Don't worry, it really is. People might be meddlesome, but they have only the best intentions. Thanks so much for listening for you. I really appreciate it. And I promise you'll have your first copy of the review by tomorrow morning. Okay, thanks Fern. I'm eager to read what you thought of me. I really am. What could you take out of a conversation so short? I'll have a look at your selection now, if you don't mind. See you around? As I thought about our conversation and what it entailed, Fern called me over. Would you mind giving me a hand? It needs to be science fiction. I enjoy a good classic from time to time. Do you have anything like June? I hope it's not too much of a bother. Read June, but heard it was a series set in a galactic, and I just knew the book to recommend. The Martian Chronicles is set in Mars, and its story fits the feel of June. And I was right. Fern was ecstatic about it. Sweet, consider my mind blown. Fern bought all my fantasy books and a couple of travel ones. I wonder was the basic or he just liked my selection. My first day at Bookstonbury was an intense one. I met Tilde, a Fern, and wondered what the next day would bring, and would my questions be answered. Well, I will see that tomorrow. Now I'm packing ahead to get a good sleep.